Hello, and thank you for joining us on this Tuesday afternoon. I'm Jurnee Taylor, and here's a look at some of the top stories we're following today. First, a Pulaski County judge ruled to dismiss Arkansas Attorney General Tim Griffin's lawsuit against the Board of Corrections. Now appeals could be on the way. Plus, in New Hampshire, polls are open in the first primary election, and 22 delegates are up for grabs in the head-to-head race for the Republican presidential nominations. And in a sit-down interview, former Arkansas governor and former presidential candidate ASA Hutchinson talks his campaign exit and his thoughts on the 2024 election. And of course, we have to talk weather. Our first day back to school for work for some and for the students, and it's a rainy one. It's also foggy out there. Meteorologist Simone Thomas, tell us what we can expect on this Tuesday.
We actually had a dense fog advisory, since you mentioned the fog, that expired just at the top of the hour. So we are probably still seeing some reduced visibility, but not as bad as what we started the day with. The main story is the rain moving into central Arkansas. Started out mainly concentrated across southwest Arkansas, but as you see, slowly making a climb up that I-30 line. Now starting to see some rain in the metro. Now, so far we've clocked a little bit over a quarter of an inch of rain today in the capital city. Texarkana has already seen over 1.5 inches. Arkadelphia trailing not too far behind. As we continue through the day, the rain is going to continue to be the main story. Temperatures looking to make it to the lower 50s today. If you stick around, I'll have a look at when we might finally see some relief from this gloomy weather.
Simone, thank you. New at noon, 2 people are dead after an overnight house fire in Bismarck. The Bismarck Fire Protection Association responded to the fire at the home around 1 a.m. They were notified there were still people inside the house. One person was able to escape. However, 2 additional victims were located once fire crews made entry. This is an ongoing investigation, and we will continue to work to learn more about the cause of the fire and keep you updated on air and online. The search continues today for 2 murder suspects who escaped jail in Jefferson County. Pine Bluff police are turning to the public for help finding the 2 men on your screen, Noah Roosh and Jatonia Bryant. Officers learned the 2 were missing from the W.C. Brassel Detention Center around 10:30 a.m. yesterday, but police say they could have escaped as early as the night before. Bryant is facing capital murder charges, and Roosh is under arrest for burglary, but the sheriff also calls him a murder suspect. Contact police immediately if you know anything about where they may be. In a THV 11 update, we now know the name of the pilot killed in Sunday's plane crash at Clinton National Airport. Little Rock police announced it was 62-year-old William Cope of Greenbrier. The details emerged yesterday afternoon after the first full day of on-scene investigation by the NTSB. Cope crashed just after 1 p.m. Sunday after taking off when he reported a loss of engine power. Any witnesses to the accident or those who have any relevant video are being asked to contact the NTSB at the email you see here on your screen. Of course, we will continue to monitor this for any updates in the coming days. And another update, one of the 2 lawsuits in the legal battle between the Board of Corrections and the governor has been dismissed. On Monday, a circuit judge followed through on his plans to toss the case because State Attorney General Tim Griffin didn't work out a deal with the embattled board. Yesterday, the judge did note that there's a good chance both of those rulings will soon be back in front of him. Voting is already underway in New Hampshire, where Nikki Haley looks to take on former President Donald Trump. Haley keeping high hopes as she expects to advance to South Carolina and beyond. Meanwhile, Trump is hoping a big win in New Hampshire will end the race after only 2 states have voted. Penny Commit reports.
Good morning, all is good. Happy Election Day, it's great.
Nikki Haley campaigning outside of a polling location in Hampton, looking for last-minute support.
Who are you voting for today?
Nikki Haley.
Can you explain why you wanted to vote for her?
Time for a change.
The former South Carolina governor has already won the first votes in New Hampshire when all 6 registered voters in the tiny town of Dixville Notch voted for her at midnight.
Nikki's a fighter and she's not giving up, and I just really hope that the rest of New Hampshire follows us and chooses Nikki.
And Haley will have to be a fighter if she wants to make up ground. Heading into today, former President Donald Trump still has a double-digit lead in New Hampshire.
We just got some in the fantastic polls, but assume you're one down, please, okay? And get out of bed and just get to vote. Grab your neighbor, grab everybody. You gotta go out because we have to win by big margins.
Trump has already won the endorsement of most Republican leaders.
It's a Big Ten party. I mean, we have space for everybody. The question is, who do we want to be our next president? That answer is also very simple. Donald J. Trump.
And his momentum will only grow if he gets a big win here in New Hampshire. But Haley says she will fight on no matter what happens in the Granite State.
I'm running against Donald Trump, and I'm not going to talk about an obituary just because y'all think we have to talk about it. I'm going to talk about running the tape and saving this country.
New Hampshire Secretary of State projects a record turnout at the polls today. Penny Commit, CBS News, Manchester, New Hampshire.
And former Governor ASA Hutchinson sat down with us on Monday to recap his experience on his 2024 presidential bid. Following his exit from the race, the governor believes folks are not interested in a rematch between Donald Trump and President Joe Biden. This as he continues to show support towards his former opponent, Nikki Haley. Overall, Hutchinson is hoping whoever pulls through in the end is able to unite the country rather than divide it.
We've had times of division, the Civil Rights era and the Vietnam War, but we've had leaders that tried to bridge the gap and bring people together. And regretfully today, we have leaders that capitalize on division.
Now, to watch the interview in full, you can visit thv11.com. Meanwhile, North Little Rock Mayor took time to touch on a number of topics at Monday's State of the City address. Mayor Terry Hardwick made sure to speak on the rebuilding process after last year's devastating tornadoes. He also touched on progress made in the areas of economic development. In just the past year alone, Hardwick says economic development continues to thrive in all parts of North Little Rock.
Safe Food expanded their operation. Federal Metals opened and the Lowe's Distribution Center held their grand opening. I take pride in how hard all of our city employees work for our citizens and the spirit of our community. I'm looking forward to 2024 and all the plans we have in store.
Now, in the video you just saw, there is also a moment where it highlights the city's new real-time crime center and new inclusive parks in the area. To watch the address in full, you can head over to the City of North Little Rock's Facebook page. And good news for people in Little Rock who've had garbage piling up. Normal collections are back up and running. Now, keep in mind, the city says crews are running their scheduled routes, not picking up where they left off before the weather delays. So if you have extra trash from days missed, as long as it's bagged next to your garbage can, the city says it will be picked up. And if your trash is missed on pickup day, the city is now offering trash drop-offs at 6 locations around Little Rock. These services are free to residential sanitation customers every day this week from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. New technology is helping stroke patients get their mobility back. Coming up, a look into the possible or the impossible restoring mobility years after a stroke. Simone?
Jurnee, this weather is making for some nasty travel conditions, maybe even makes you want to take a nap. We're talking about what you can expect for the rest of the day right after this break.